Right guys, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I am hoping to try and help a few people out with like obtaining land or trying to find where decent land is. Do you know what I mean? Right, this is going to be entitled research, right? Because to me, research is one of the most important parts of metal detecting. If you do your research, you don't have to fanny about running around field to field to field. You can just go directly to where you've read. Right, now the types of research I use, excuse me, I use maps, loads of maps. Maps are one of my biggest sources of information. First of all, I have an idea in my head. Now this idea might be, I don't know, right, sports fields, right. At the moment I am looking into the Cumberland and Westmoreland wrestling matches because they were big crowd pullers. Used to get 30 to 40,000 people watching one of them up the lakes. And a place near to where we live, they used to hold the World Championships, I've found out. And I've done a bit of research and had a look at the maps and been to see the farmer, and there you go, I've got some permission. I can't go out yet because it's chucking it down with rain, but there you go. But I've done all sorts of research on all different things. For instance, right, here's another good way of researching, right? If you ever go to a car boot sale, always go around the bookstore. Go to the bookstore, right, in car boot sales. Now, car boot sales, sorry. Now I found this one, right? I live, or used to live in Lancashire, right? But this is now Cumbria. We got split off from Lancashire, something to do with the voting, more politics as per usual. But Lancashire ways. Now in this gives me all sorts of information. It's an old book. This gives me all sorts of information, and it's even got an old map of Lancashire in it. You know what I mean? But I can read through this and I pick out little things that, oh, I didn't know that. And there must have been a few people there. Fair sites, etc, etc. The Romans. Do you know what I mean? Where the Romans were. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Now, if there isn't anything on the outskirts of them fields, then we must be off our heads, mustn't we? You know? Anyway, not only that, but also all the Romans. Romans in the northwest. Roman Britain. Roman Britain. Here's another one as well, right? This is another good way of finding out information. This sounds really stupid, but some of the fairy tales that you hear, do you know what I mean? Like, what's that one? Lancashire Magic and Mystery. You won't believe how much truth there is in a little mystery. You know what I mean? So go to these bookshops, you can pick them up dead cheap, car boots. You can even get the maps for car boots. I've had many of them. The Ordnance Survey, the Victorian ones, get hold of them. Because there's places and there's places marked on these maps that are now not on the modern day maps. Now, whether the archaeological societies or the government have said there's too many people going on these sites raping them, I don't know, but they are on the old maps. And what I usually do as well on the internet, there's a lot of map sites there. I'll probably show you one or two, or I might even put one or two behind me, you never know. But what you do on these, what I do is I cross-reference. I'll sort of put them both into Photoshop. Not many people have Photoshop, I don't know how I use Photoshop, I know, but I can make one opaque over the other. Do you know what I mean? They match perfectly, but you'll see things on the older one that you can't see on the newer one. So, things like that. All little tips. Also, join forums. Forums are full. If you go down to the map section, detector help section, information section, there is all sorts of information there. They send you to these sort of sites so that you can do your research. I go to the records office in Barrow, and sometimes I always go to all the libraries around here. Every time there's any old books for anything, or you know, if I've got a spare minute, I'll nip down there and I'll just go through the old section of the area, if you know what I mean. You know, local history. Go to your local history section of the library, and just have a look at the local history section. Our main one here is Antiquities of Furness. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. It tells you where certain things have been found. So if you know which farm or which area, say a Roman bronze ring or a Roman pot or an Iron Age vessel was found, or a palace staff axe was found, if you know whereabouts in the area that was found, the chances are there's going to be more there. Most of these finds were made in the 1800s by a bloke with a horse-drawn plough. Excuse me. And again, most of these finds were made by a bloke like that, a labourer, farm labourer. There was a hoard of coins found in Urswick during the 1700s. I've read this in this Furness Antiquities. But the farmer won't let us on his land. What a bummer. But they found a hoard of what believed to be Edward I hammered silver coins. And as it says in this little this book, all of these coins, or most of them, got distributed amongst the townsfolk, so they never got to really know who or what they were. But I would like to bet my life that field where they came from, there will be more in there. I will bet my life on that, because if he's crashed open that pot ploughing, he might have noticed it on his way back from ploughing. Do you know what I mean? Places where things have been found before, especially when they've been found in the 1800s, you've got to go back, you've got to. And another thing as well, if I actually find, say, I go onto a field, if I am lucky enough to get onto a field, and just pot luck, not without doing any research, bit bored, go out see a farmer, he lets me on, and I find a hammered coin in that field, I never move out of that field. I will stay in that field. I don't care what I see in any other field. If I found a hammered coin in that one field, I know there's going to be more hammered coin. I've been proving that lately, haven't I? So, but yeah, old maps, new maps, cross-reference. Find if you're into sports grounds and things like that. I know the Americans do a lot of it. Americans are pretty good. They do their research. A lot of the Americans, I've seen them doing it. They go to old homesteads, right, which is our equivalent of medieval villages. Find out where there's a medieval village. We've got 3 round here somewhere. We have got 3 medieval, Forbodal, Orgav, and Salterwaite, something like that. There's 3 of them, and they don't know where they are. I've got a good idea where one is, but I don't know where the other 2 is. Well, there's another one as well. Sorry, there's a 4th one, Peace Homes. We know where that one is as well, but the farmer won't let us on. So, until he changes his mind, which I hope he will do before long, because every now and again we just keep going down, never take no for an answer. Another thing, if you're going to ask for permission, right, if you've done your research, you've got all your bits and bobs, take them with you. Take them with you. Let the farmer know that you're interested in his land, because... And the chances are he'll let you on, because he'll realise you've done a lot of research into that to recover any items that are lost. And especially if he thinks he might be in for something out of it. I mean, even these, right, I've still got these, like treasure hunter. I've still got these from the 80s, 70s, 80s. What's this? This is 91. To prove me wrong. There you go, 87. I mean, look at these. I remember getting my very first machine out of one of these. I seen one of these on this is how I got started. I seen one of these when I was a kid in the newsagents, and I bought it, and I couldn't believe the things that were in it. It was absolutely fantastic, really, 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 really good. So in them days I had a milk round. There you go, look at them for detectors. How old are them? Ancient now. Here we go, the past that vanished. There we go, this is one, right, look. That's a good one. Part 2, Mike Crow completes his explanation of the network of paths surrounding medieval villages that have disappeared through disuse. Not just modern footpaths, look for the old footpaths as well. See, this is exactly what I've been on about. Fantastic. Backed up by a magazine. that I just picked out randomly. Brilliant. So that's what I do. I take all the information I've got, show the farmer, etc, etc. Fantastic. He's happy. He lets us on. 99% of the time that's true. Like I say, one or two I've said no, but it's only a no. Don't take it personally. Never take it personally. Plenty more farms, plenty more research to do. Doesn't matter. It's not going to go away. The chances are, if he dies, if he sells it, etc, etc, you might get on there at some time. You never know. You know, you might even go round one day and get him in a really good mood. Then you're on. Bingo. And when you do your research, like I've said before and before and before, I mean, I never used to do this much research. I hated history at school. Hated it. Couldn't be doing with it. But then I found, like these old maps. This is how I started. I found the old maps and I started looking at the old maps and I realised, Jesus, that's not on the new map. So I went down, seen the farmer with the map, showed him, and then he told me even more. They're the best source of information yet. The actual landowner, the farmer, the bloke who works the land, have a word with him. If he says yes, and you've already showed him some stuff, ask him what field, if there's any fields when he's ploughed, if there's any pottery come up, or if there's anything interesting, has he ever come across anything? Do you know what I mean? Things like that. It's I always say it's not rocket science, you know, use your loaf, whatever you're into. Bottle dumps, I've even got books on bottle dumps somewhere. There you go. Never take no what field walking. Bought that years ago. Oh yeah, bought that years and years ago. But yeah, all interesting information. And all this information is readily and freely available in most places on the internet. Like I've said, bookshops. You can go into a bookshop and find your local bookshop and go to the local history section. Do you know what I mean? We've got tons of it in our area. I know it's a lot of reading and I know a lot of people can't be doing it, but if you want to go straight to the goodies and find them straight away without having to walk through 300 fields, there you go. Aerial photographs. Aerial photographs is another something else I use there, very handy, aerial photographs. And what else do we use? Oh God, I mean, there's so much stuff. Newspapers. Go down to the local archives for your newspaper and have a look through all the old archives for the sporting section, especially the galas. Everywhere there's been galas, gymkhanas, galas, carnivals, even firework displays, as daft as it sounds. I know they're modern, but firework displays, people in the dark rummaging about with their hot dogs and that lot. You never know what's going to be on the floor where firework displays have been. Sports grounds. They'd be. I know where there's 2 sports grounds. I haven't even asked the farmer yet, but I found 2 sports grounds that are now disused, not used anymore. And they used to play football on them in the 60s. And from the pictures that I've seen, their crowds were massive. Really big, because football in them days, it was like big crowd pullers and what have you. So, do you know what I mean? And I don't know if they still do this, but when I used to go down the rugby and watch the rugby, every now and again they'd come round with a blanket, you know, 2 guys would have a big blanket and people would be throwing coins and that lot into the blanket. Many times I've seen them miss the blanket and land on the floor. I bet there's loads of stuff round by the sides of football pitches. And I know there's lots of players who used to play who've lost jewellery. So there you go, sports grounds. And again, the Americans, they seem to find a lot of it. But that's what I do anyway. That's the sort of thing I do. I would say personally, it's about 75% research for me. I do tons of research. 75% research. Then the easiest part is asking the farmer. All you've got to do is knock on his door. If he says yes, brilliant. Hey-ho, off we go. All the goodies in the bag. If he says no, have you wasted all that research? No, because you've still got your research saved, and the chances are at some point in your life, if you're patient enough, you will end up on there. Do you know what I mean? So it's worth doing. It really is worth doing. Or you might know one of your mates who starts detecting or is detecting, and he goes and sees a farmer, and the farmer might take a shine away him, and the next minute, if you share your information with him, I know that sounds, oh no, don't do that, they're going to find all the goodies, but you might get an invite. You bribe them, just say, I'll give you an invite, I'll give you all this information I've got on that place, because I've got loads, and I can get you straight onto an area where it's great if you get me an invite on the same day. So there you go, simple as. That's why we do it anyway. I don't know. I love these sort of things. It shows you old mills, old churches. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. Now that is an ideal place for me. That is an ideal place. A knackered old broken down building in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's Swarthmoor. Right, see that? I've got permission to detect round there. Swarthmoor Hall. It's in the farmer. Farmer owns the land round it. I've got permission to go there. And I have not been there yet with my XP Gold Max or the E-Track. I haven't been with them. I went with the whites a long time ago. I ploughed a field at the side and got a nice little chewed fastener, but that was about it. Absolutely tons of cork. Loads of cork. Now I have the machine that'll see through the cork. Could be a different story now in there. Yeah. Swarthmoor Hall. It's not Windows. Swarthmoor. Duh. Yeah. So guys, I think that will wrap it up for the research part. But if you really do want to go straight from A to B in a straight line and get your goodies, just do your research. You know, even the lads that do the beaches do research. Which beach was the busiest? All photographs of the beaches. A place now that looks really crap and quiet and that now might have been a whole different ball game 200, 300 years ago. You know what I mean? I've seen photographs from quite a long time ago, and one of the places near was, you should see the amount of people in that place. It is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and there will be some goodies there, so can't wait to get on there. Alright folks, I hope this has enlightened a few. If it's bored a few, then I am sorry. I'm only trying to help in the best way I can, because I do believe in sharing things out, because the more you share out, the more it comes to light, and the more it comes to light, the more people will love the museum, get stuff in the museums, get people to see what's coming out, you know, out the ground. It's no good in the ground. We're saving history, guys. That's the way I look at it. We are saving history, and I love showing folk what I found. That's why I like donating stuff to the museum. I'm giving them stuff to put on show. Some of it's on loan though, because I quite like a lot of it myself, I must admit. Alright folks, so that's all it from me now. Dave, signing off again. This is going to be another long video in it, but can you tell I feel a hell of a lot better than I did. So until it stops raining, I'm going to get more of this dribble. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm sure I'll think of something. So, happy hunting everybody, and to all those who are using YouTube and have subscribed to me, thank you very much. It's really appreciated.